Alright guys, I am back with my review of WWE's Night of Champions 2013. I'm trying to get them done. I got a lot of videos. I'm trying to get through all these. So starting with the pre-show, you have the panel of judges. Well, they're not really judges, they're just giving their thoughts on the matches. You got Matthews, Alex Riley, Santino and Booker T. Backstage, Heyman is trying to get out of this match. He tells Maddox that he can always punch the referee and get himself disqualified. So Maddox makes it a no DQ match. Then we get the Tag Team Turmoil match. And it starts with 3MB versus Tons of Funk. Brodus Clay was wearing some weird outfit. It looked like he had broken glass coming out of his back. But Tons of Funk eliminates 3MB. Then the Real Americans run out. And Antonio Cesaro kicks Heath Slater. So he went after the wrong guy here, which was pretty funny because Slater pushed him afterwards. But the Real Americans eliminate Tons of Funk. Then it's the Usos. The Real Americans eliminate the Usos. And then it's the Primetime Playas. And Darren Young hits the Gutbuster on Jack Swagger for the win. So Young and O'Neal will be facing the Shield later for the tag titles. I thought the match was okay. It was fine for a pre-show match. Okay, so the pay-per-view starts with Triple H coming out. And he says, "I'm not such a bad guy. And tonight there will be no interference in the Daniel Bryan-Randy Orton match. No Shield, no Big Show, nothing." Paul Heyman comes out with Curtis Axel. And he tries to get out of the match with CM Punk again. And Curtis Axel tells Triple H that he thinks this is personal. And that Triple H is just pissed off because Axel beat him. So Triple H puts Axel in a Intercontinental title match against Kofi Kingston starting right now. And at first when this match was starting, I was thinking, I'm glad they're at least sticking with the theme of this pay-per-view where every title must be defended, but I don't really care to see this match. However, these two guys ended up having a pretty good match here. Curtis Axel wins with the neckbreaker DDT move. However, there were a lot of near falls in this match. I kind of thought maybe they would put the Intercontinental title on Kofi. I don't know why Curtis Axel can't just use the Perfect Plex as a finisher. I mean, he does a great Perfect Plex. And the only thing I can come up with is maybe WWE doesn't want it to look like he's copying his dad. They want him to be his own man. Or maybe they're afraid that people will like him and he'll actually get over. I have no idea. But that was the opening match, and these guys did a pretty good job here. Alright, so Ricardo is talking to RVD backstage, and RVD keeps asking him how to say all this stuff in Spanish, like, how do you say 5-star frog splash? Or, oh, how do you say Mr. Monday Night? And then he asks, how do you say, he seriously does this every time, Rolling Thunder. So that was kind of goofy. Then AJ is talking to her Hill Alliance backstage, Layla, Alicia Fox, Oksana, and they want nothing to do with her. So we get Naomi versus Brie Bella, Natalya, and AJ Lee. This match was okay. It was actually better than I expected it to be. At one point, Brie is laid out on top of Naomi. And Cole and JBL call the referee out on not making the count, even though both shoulders are pinned to the mat. Natalya gets them both in a double sharpshooter. AJ attacks her from behind, gets her in the Black Widow, and Natalya taps out. So AJ retains here. So it's Del Rio versus RVD. This was another good match here. RVD goes for the frog splash. Del Rio gets the knees up. Then he gets RVD in the arm breaker, but RVD gets the ropes. Del Rio refuses to break the hold, so he gets disqualified. So RVD wins the match, but Del Rio retains. It was a good match, but I thought the finish was kind of weak. However, they gave you a Van Daminator afterwards with Ricardo holding the chair over Del Rio's face. But it still looked kind of weak because Del Rio's like this far away from the chair, like he's holding it back with his arms. So, yeah, I didn't really care for the finish here. But throughout the night, they've been doing this thing where fans can vote on these polls, like who's the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. You got Jericho, Pat Patterson, Mr. Perfect, Rick Rude, guys like that. Jericho won the poll. Pat Patterson got 1% of the votes. I actually thought Mr. Perfect would win this one. And then they do the Greatest Divas Champion, and Trish Stratus won that. And the Greatest Heavyweight Champion, you had Ric Flair, Undertaker, Batista, Edge, and Booker T. And Booker T actually won this. He beat The Undertaker, Edge, and Ric Flair. So I was very surprised by the outcome of this one. So Orton's talking to Triple H backstage, and he asked him, "What are you thinking with this whole no interference thing?" And Triple H says that I wanted to make sure I picked the right guy to be the face of the company. Then it's Fandango versus Miz. No one really cared about this. It was your basic filler match. Miz wins with the figure 4. And then it's Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman versus CM Punk. I thought this was alright. Punk eliminates Axel with the Anaconda Vice. He goes after Heyman. He beats him with a kendo stick. It was obvious Heyman had a lot of padding on his chest. He handcuffs Heyman, and he continues to beat him with a kendo stick. He gets ready to hit him in the face, and then Ryback comes out and spears Punk through a table, puts Heyman on top of Punk, and Heyman wins the match. So I guess Ryback is now a Paul Heyman guy. He's a new client, but where the fuck was he when Heyman was getting caned? That doesn't make any sense at all, and then Ryback just carries Heyman away like a giant baby. But CM Punk did get a big gash in his back from the table spot. Of course, the doctors are trying to cover up the blood. And what I don't understand about this whole... If anybody gets cut open, any blood at all, we got to cover it up. We got to remove the blood. What better way to get across the whole message of don't try this at home than to show that you can actually get fucked up doing this? Why clean up the blood? Let people see the blood. And that should get the message across. So I have no idea why they covered it up, but you could tell that Punk definitely got fucked up in that table spot. Alright, so they do another poll. Who is the greatest United States champion of all time? And you could actually vote for Sting. And Sting won by 53%. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Then we get Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler. Match was okay. Ambrose wins with the weird DDT move. Beats Dolph clean. Then we get the Shield versus the Primetime Players. And Roman Reigns spears Titus O'Neil for the win. So the Shield retains here. This show is not worth $50. This has been a very average pay-per-view. Alright, so we get another poll. Who are the greatest tag team champions of all time? And DX actually beat the Legion of Doom here, which is unbelievable. And then we get who was the greatest WWE champion of all time. You had Triple H, CM Punk, Cena, Steve Austin, and Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan won by 55%. You know TNA is loving this. So then we get the main event, Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton. And I thought it was a good match. I wouldn't say it was great or anything, but it was a good match. The referee took a bump. Another referee comes in. And then the original referee recovers and goes back to refereeing, so the new guy leaves. So you know something is up. Something's going on here. And Daniel Bryan hits Randy Orton with a flying knee, and the original referee does a fast count. The announcers don't mention this at all. Cole, JBL King, they don't say anything about the fast count. Daniel Bryan is the new WWE champion. I'm very happy about that. It would really suck to have to wait. I don't know how long it is till the next pay-per-view, but it would suck to have to watch every week with Daniel Bryan getting beat up over and over again for another month or whatever it is. So I'm glad he won the title. I haven't watched Raw yet, but you know they're going to do something with this fast count storyline. So that's how the show ended. Overall, I thought it was a pretty weak pay-per-view. I knew the card was pretty weak going in. So I had low expectations, and I was still disappointed. This was just a very basic, average show. And some of the matches were okay, but really this show was based around CM Punk versus Paul Heyman and Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton. And the matches were alright, but some of the booking here didn't really make a lot of sense. The whole fast count thing, I'm not sure where they're going with that. I guess it's a way for Triple H to screw Daniel Bryan without having interference, so he still looks like a good guy. And then with the Ryback joining Paul Heyman's group. In my predictions video, I said Brock Lesnar would probably be the one to come out, but it was Ryback. Ryback is no Brock Lesnar. He's just not. So I'm curious to see what they do with that. I kind of like the whole Ryback being a bully backstage. I hope that doesn't go away because of this, but yeah, Night of Champions 2013, I didn't really care for it. So that's my review. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this pay-per-view in the comments, and thanks for watching.